We're going to talk about speech synthesis, the human voice, and singing synthesis. And we will start with an introduction to source filter models. I'd like to play an example of some computer-generated singing. This is from Charles Dodge's piece called The Days Are Ahead.
926,345. Later.
So the interesting thing about this is not actual human speech. This is computer generated, or at least computer manipulated and reconstructed voices, and yet it's very salient to our perception. We latch onto that, and so singing synthesis and voices have been a very important part of computer music because of the way that they grab our perception. And we're going to learn about how voice sounds are made, what are their characteristics, and we'll look at a number of different algorithms for achieving those kinds of results. This is a diagram of a human head taken at a cross section so that we can see the air passageways and talk about how the voice works. At the bottom of the diagram are the vocal folds, or commonly called vocal cords. This is a structure that vibrates when you push air through it from the lungs. And the waveform at the vocal folds is a series of pulses. They're not extremely sharp pulses, but kind of rounded pulses. And you can see a rough diagram of what the waveform looks like over here. These pulses go into a resonant chamber that's formed by the oral, the mouth cavity, and the nasal cavity, and manipulated extensively by the tongue and the lips, as you can imagine. And it's the combination of all of this that gives rise to speech sounds. One of the very important sort of fundamental concepts of speech production is the vowel. The vowels are sounds that we all recognize, like oo, ah, eh. All of these are different vowels. And what's going on to make these vowel sounds? Am I changing pitch? Well, no. Oo, same pitch, same loudness. So what must be changing is the spectrum. And in fact, the main characteristic of the spectral changes are that the spectrum has a number of resonances. The first two, or the lowest two resonances, are the most important ones. And in fact, if we plot the first resonant frequency versus the second resonant frequency for different vowel sounds, we get a picture like this. So we can see here that, for example, if the first formant is a little below 500 hertz and the second formant is, it's around 1500 hertz, then we get this vowel sound, as in sir. On the other hand, if we move up in frequencies, let's say to around 800 hertz for the first formant frequency, or resonant frequency, and close to 2000 for the second one, then we get a different vowel. We get an a, as in sat sound. And so if we plot all of the vowels, we see it kind of covers this range of formant frequencies. And it turns out that our tongue and our mouth is able to change shape and control these formant frequencies, and that's how we make different vowel sounds. This leads to a model that we could build for voice synthesis. This is a very simple model, but it's very common. This is the source filter model, and what we have are a source and a filter. The source is it's a choice of either a noise signal, which you get when you whisper. So those are whispered vowel sounds. Or we can have a pulse train, periodic impulses, and then we get what is called voiced speech, so those kinds of vowels. And everything that I'm saying right now is for the most part voiced, but certain consonants are unvoiced, like the S sound. F sounds have a strong noise component, and the vocal cords just stop vibrating. All right, so whatever the source is, that source goes into a vocal tract filter, and this is characterized by these resonances, these formants that you saw on the previous slide. And after filtering the source of either noise or impulses, then you get speech sound.